Who hates Christmas? Melania Trump hates Christmas. She doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. She doesn't want to.
I feel I was always me the first time as well. I just feel that people didn't accept me, maybe.
Have you ever wondered what happens when a former First Lady takes on the media giant that defines daytime TV? Melania Trump, often seen as reserved and enigmatic, has stepped into the spotlight with a $100 million defamation lawsuit against the hosts of The View. And trust me, this isn't just about hurt feelings. This is about power, reputation, and the line between free speech and defamation. Buckle up, because you won't find this story told quite like this anywhere else. It started like any other episode of The View: lively chatter, bold opinions, and, as some might say, a penchant for controversy. But this time, the target was Melania Trump, and the remarks went far beyond harmless speculation. One host insinuated that Melania hates her husband and doesn't even want to live with him. Another criticized her White House redecorations, calling them destructive. And
she does not want to be the First Lady anymore.
They agree with you.
She doesn't want to be the First Lady.
Then came the most cutting blow, comments implying that Melania never wanted to be First Lady at all. These weren't just offhand remarks. They were deeply personal jabs aimed at her character, her marriage, and even her values. For someone like Melania, who guards her privacy fiercely, these statements crossed a line. These weren't playful critiques or political banter. They were deeply invasive comments that struck at the heart of her public image and personal life.
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all
That's a
agree on
given.
that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out.
It's one thing to question policy or public appearances, but another entirely to make allegations about someone's intimate relationships and motivations. These remarks quickly went viral, amplified by social media's endless echo chamber. Memes, reaction videos, and polarized debates flooded timelines, further stoking the flames of controversy. The View's segment became more than just a moment in daytime television. It was a cultural flashpoint, igniting discussions about media ethics, respect for public figures, and the consequences of unchecked commentary. And unlike most public figures who shrug off such criticisms to avoid drawing more attention, Melania chose to fight back. She's not just demanding an apology, she's demanding accountability, to the tune of $100 million.
She doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him. She can't tolerate him.
Allegedly.
And she does.
Yeah, how do you know all this? Yeah.
This isn't just a lawsuit, it's a declaration of war on a system that thrives on scandal and speculation. Defamation lawsuits from public figures aren't unheard of, but what makes this case unique is the sheer scale of Melania's response. A $100 million lawsuit isn't just a legal claim, it's a statement. It says, enough is enough. Melania isn't simply asking for damages, she's setting a precedent. Why does this matter? Because the case hinges on the very fine line between free speech and harmful gossip. The comments made on The View weren't just opinions. Melania's legal team argues they were false, malicious, and damaging to her reputation. The scale of this response also forces a critical conversation about the responsibilities of media platforms. For years, shows like The View have thrived on pushing boundaries, often walking a tightrope between sharp critique and outright defamation. By launching this lawsuit, Melania is calling attention to the potential harm caused by unchecked commentary, especially when it targets someone's personal life. What's more, the lawsuit is breaking the mold of how public figures typically handle these situations. Many celebrities and political figures choose silence or carefully worded statements to diffuse controversies. Melania, however, is taking the bold step of addressing the issue head-on, signaling that she's unwilling to let these remarks slide.
I have my own thoughts. I have my own yes and no. I don't always agree with.
The outcome of this case could redefine the legal boundaries of media discourse. If Melania wins, it might set a precedent that forces media outlets to rethink their approach to covering public figures, especially when it comes to personal and speculative topics. On the other hand, it also raises questions about the chilling effect it could have on free speech. Could this case discourage media from holding powerful figures accountable out of fear of legal repercussions? By taking this to court, Melania is forcing the media to reckon with a question they've long avoided. Where do we draw the line between critical commentary and defamation? And the outcome of this case could set a new standard for how public figures are treated in the media. But beyond the legal implications, this lawsuit sends a clear message. Melania Trump is no longer willing to stay. Let's be honest, in today's media landscape, controversy sells. And platforms like The View thrive on bold statements and polarizing debates. But Melania's lawsuit shines a spotlight on the darker side of this approach, the willingness to sacrifice truth for entertainment. If Melania wins this case, it could send shockwaves through the entertainment industry. Shows like The View might have to rethink how they approach discussions about public figures. Could this mark the beginning of the end for sensationalized media? Or will it simply spark a new era of carefully worded critiques? Not everyone is on Melania's side. Critics argue that she's using this lawsuit as a publicity stunt or a distraction from Donald Trump's ongoing controversies. Others believe it's a calculated move to reassert her presence in the public eye. But supporters see it differently. They argue that Melania is standing up for her rights and drawing a line against media overreach. And here's where it gets even more intriguing: the timing of this lawsuit. With Donald Trump dominating headlines for his own legal battles, could Melania's case be part of a larger strategy to shift the narrative? It's a question worth pondering. Some speculate that this lawsuit is not just about correcting the record, but about reclaiming control of her story.
And that's okay.
Are you able to tell him when you disagree?
I gave him my advice, and sometimes he listens, sometimes he doesn't, and that's okay.
Over the years, Melania has often been a figure interpreted through the lens of others, whether it's political pundits, media outlets, or even her own husband's controversies. This legal action could be her way of stepping out of the shadows and into a role where she dictates how she is seen. Supporters also point out that this lawsuit might be a wake-up call for the media. It challenges the long-standing culture of targeting public figures for sensationalist headlines. If successful, it could mark the beginning of a shift toward more respectful and responsible reporting, especially regarding personal lives. Critics, however, warn that this could set a dangerous precedent. If public figures start using defamation lawsuits as tools to silence critics, where does it end? The balance between protecting reputations and upholding free speech is a delicate one, and this case highlights just how tricky that balance can be. In the court of public opinion, Melania's lawsuit is already sparking debates about the role of media, the rights of public figures, and the ethics of modern journalism. Regardless of the outcome, it's clear that this case is about much more than a few controversial comments. It's about reshaping the way we think about accountability and respect in the digital age. This lawsuit isn't just about Melania's reputation. It's about setting a precedent for how public figures are treated. If Melania wins, it could lead to stricter standards for media outlets when discussing the personal lives of celebrities and politicians. But there's a flip side. Critics warn that such a win could stifle free speech and make it harder for journalists and commentators to hold public figures accountable. The stakes go beyond Melania and The View. They touch on the very principles of media responsibility, free speech, and the balance of power between public figures and the press. Melania's lawsuit also brings attention to how public perception is shaped. The media wields enormous power in constructing narratives, and when those narratives become personal attacks, the consequences can be devastating. This case is a reminder of the responsibility that comes with influence, and how easily it can be misused. If Melania succeeds, it could signal a shift in how audiences engage with media. People might start questioning the authenticity and motivations behind what they watch, leading to a more discerning public. While the lawsuit seems straightforward, some analysts believe it's part of a larger strategy. Melania's move to sue The View aligns with her broader efforts to define her own legacy. By standing up against a powerful media platform, she's positioning herself as a figure of resilience and determination, a stark contrast to the image portrayed by her critics. This calculated approach could influence not just her reputation, but also how future first ladies and public figures manage their public image. Beyond the courtroom, this case could have far-reaching effects on industries beyond entertainment. From journalism to social media, the lawsuit might force organizations to reconsider how they handle stories about public figures. Could we see a rise in fact-checking and accountability? Or will this case simply push the limits of what's considered acceptable commentary? Either way, the ripples of this case will likely extend far beyond the immediate parties involved. Social media has played a massive role in amplifying the comments that sparked this lawsuit. Platforms like Twitter and Instagram thrive on viral moments, often without context. This case highlights the dangers of a world where information spreads faster than it can be verified. If nothing else, this lawsuit could ignite conversations about the ethical responsibilities of social media platforms in preventing the spread of harmful narratives. Melania's case also raises questions about the expectations placed on first ladies. Historically, they've been expected to take criticism in stride, often without much pushback, but Melania's lawsuit challenges that norm, paving the way for future first ladies to demand greater respect and fairness from the media. Could this be a turning point for how we view and treat these influential women? Only time will tell. This case also prompts a broader examination of the double standards often applied to women in positions of power. First ladies, in particular, are frequently judged not just on their public roles but on their personal lives, appearances, and even their marriages. By pushing back against these invasive narratives, Melania could be signaling a shift toward a more equitable standard, one where women in public life are judged by their contributions rather than the rumors and gossip that surround them. Furthermore, this lawsuit might encourage future first ladies to redefine the boundaries of their roles. Instead of being confined to traditional ceremonial duties, they could take more active stances on issues that matter to them, knowing that they have the right to demand respect and accountability from the media. In the long run, this could lead to a reimagining of what it means to be a first lady in modern times, an advocate, a leader, and, when necessary, a fierce defender of one's own reputation. So, what do we make of this? Is Melania Trump a trailblazer fighting for her dignity, or is this lawsuit a dangerous precedent for free speech? One thing's for sure, this case is about much more than just one person or one show. It's about redefining the relationship between the media and the people they cover. And here's the thing, you won't hear this story told quite like this anywhere else. While others focus on the surface, we dig deeper, uncovering the layers of truth, controversy, and intrigue that make this story truly unique. So, stay tuned, because this is only the beginning of a battle that could change everything. What do you think? Is Melania right to take this stand, or are we treading on dangerous ground? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that go beyond the headlines.